What's up, everybody? Celtics Mavericks. Getting started in the second quarter here. Thanks for joining in, following along with us here. We're going to talk a little bit about the game. We're going to talk about the All-Star teams that collapsed on Sunday. And a so-so start here. Kemba Walker hitting some shots. Jayson Tatum got off to a good start. I don't like the mapping of the offense right now. Not getting a ton of shots at the rim. Rebounding looks good. Boban has hurt the Celtics. That's an adjustment I saw having potential for Dallas, given how bad they've been at rebounding this year. And it's worked for them. And not as many second chances since he came in. It just gave Robert Williams a little bit of trouble. I don't know how sustainable that is, but ultimately the Mavericks have done a good job so far of spreading the Celtics out to wing-heavy lineups, more guards. We're going to see more Peyton Pritchard here, I think. And he has struggled within the last month or so. Down to 41% from the field coming into today. I think he's 34% from three. He was red hot to start this year. One of the best rookies, top 5 leading scorers in this rookie class through that first month. So it's been a little bit tougher for him here. We're tied, or Mavericks have gone up 38-36 just a few minutes into the second quarter. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all-stars. We already knew the Mavericks, Luka Doncic, going to be starting in this game, 28 points a game, right out of Real Madrid. This hasn't been a great Mavericks team, though. They've won 6 of 8 coming into this. Started 8-13. Their offense has not been the number one world beater that it was a year ago. Their pick and roll has been hurt by their diving threat, Dwight Powell, coming back slow from injury. Willie Cauley-Stein hasn't been that great. You saw that pass last night. I watched a little bit of Grizzlies Mavericks last night. Doncic passed this ridiculous over the shoulder in the lane, right into Cauley-Stein's hands. And Cauley-Stein just couldn't put it up. Little shoulder shot, rolled it in and out. So it botched that highlight a little bit, but I'm going to save that one, keep it, and love it just like a miss, because it was no fault of Doncic's that one didn't fall. And so far, not too much his fault that this is as knotted up as it is here. He looks great playmaking, got a 3 off the catch on the right corner. Getting the ball all over the place. Opposite for the Celtics. I'm going to pull up the shot chart here on the left. If you look, let's see what you can see here. Oh, we'll take it full screen. Nothing so far. We're about 3 minutes into the second quarter. It's jump shot city for this team. Looking back at the first quarter, I believe only 3 shots at the rim. You know, a few floaters, which I don't count. But right in the restricted zone, we're talking 3 shots, 2 makes. Good efficiency, not enough looks. One was that great lob, Peyton Pritchard to Robert Williams. I'll actually pull that up. Yeah, there was a Jayson Tatum take about halfway through the quarter, or a few minutes in. That was one of only, that was one out of the first 12 possessions that the Celtics took shot attempts on. 11 were jump shots. 1 was a driving Tatum take. This offense just doesn't have outlets for dribble penetration beyond Brown and Tatum, and we know the walls they run into when they get there. So it's not realistic to be getting all that many good looks at the rim. They can force it, and they did early this year. Those guys were forcing the issue toward the paint, trying to get to the free throw line more, which I thought they actually did a good job of in that first quarter. Tice missed a couple at the line. Brown and Tatum both got there for a pair. So if they're 6-6 there, they're looking a little better right now. 15-13, Dallas on the boards. That's not going to help the Celtics. Overall, it's just a mad performance. You know, they haven't gotten separation in a month. You just don't like the shot chart of this team right now. So looking for any motivation, the Celtics, Tatum and Brown heading to the All-Star game. Zion did make it, I believe. The West reserves were Chris Paul, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Zion, Davis, and Gobert. The big Devin Booker snub will probably be made up with Davis sitting out the All-Star game. So you'll see Booker pick up another one. I believe this is his third. No, has he made one? He may not have made one before, because I did saw that talk about Devin Booker and his snubs because he was on bad teams before, which again, the good bad team thing's really stupid. I think it's a factor, but it shouldn't be anywhere near the top. He was last year, so this would have been his second. And it will be his second ultimately, I believe. Turnover, Neesmith. This offense is a mess right now. James Johnson in the game. The Celtics can go a little bigger here. Johnson looking to post up the shorter Richardson. Shot clock winding down. Josh Richardson with a three. I thought that was the worst trade of the offseason. Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. You see how much this offense misses Seth Curry here. Wow, what a play by Rob. And Neesmith can't hit the three off that catch in the lane and dish out. Rob was in no position to finish a dish attempt into the lane in the pick and roll. I think Pritchard set it up. So he took one step toward the out-of-bound line there. Dished it to his right for Neesmith. And Neesmith was in a good position to fire away there. Still looks hesitant as a shooter. Really, all these Celtics role players are so hesitant offensively, and I don't know where that stems from. Have they been drilled to fire away, to defer? Because Tatum, Brown, and Kemba truly do need help right now. Hardaway blows by Tatum for a slam.
Able to elevate finishing traffic. Tim Hardaway Jr. Big time move. Foul called on Hardaway.
Not looking good here in the second quarter for the Boston Celtics. Dean Wade getting some minutes from the Cavaliers. Abbreviated as D Wade.
Jumper doesn't go. Rebounded by Finney Smith.
Hardaway getting another shot attempt in the left corner. Tatum gets a three to go on the other end, and it's right back at 43-42.
Get the defender reaching, hold it up for three off the bounce. You just do it with ease and grace. Richardson can't get
and Richardson's right back. Of course, there's going to be a game. He went 3 of 7 yesterday. Hardaway was the red hot one at 7-11 from 3. Richardson's a low 30s three-point percentage shooter. Mavs very based off that three-point shot. I'm surprised he was the option there. I don't get dumping Curry. Curry was so good for them last year. Probably want more of a wing defender and still some defensive identity in the team. But Richardson came off as so flat to me last year. Wasn't a great defender on Kemba Walker in that first round. That was really Walker's best round in the playoffs. And his shot's not all that great. As a playmaker, nothing special. The Heat, he was a limiting factor of many on that Heat team a couple years ago with Dion Waiters and James Johnson and Kelly Olynyk. Quite a few guys on that team that were paid well, didn't pay off, and luckily they were able to get out from under and ultimately sign Jimmy Butler to a deal. That was the deal, Josh Richardson for Jimmy Butler in that sign and trade. So quite a few losing ends of trades that Richardson's been on. As Cauley Stein gets another ridiculous pass from Doncic in the lane. It's in his hand 1 second, and then it's out around the back or over the shoulder or one of those flip passes, and you're done. If he had some better roll men, imagine him with Robert Williams.
Here on the shot clock with 4:45 remaining in this high-scoring first half. Look at this right here. This pass right here. Just get into traffic, drop it off. So the easy dunk right there by Cauley Stein. Sees everything out there when he drives to the basket. Kemba Walker coming off off-season knee surgery. The Celtics thought the season was going to start later. Doncic comes up short.
Wow. Kemba just threw a lob to Grant Williams, who's in the game. 3 of his last 4 have been do not plays. Did not plays.
It is James Johnson with the personal. That is 14 fouls on Dallas.
This team searching night in, night out for production.
Tatum off the hesitation and kick for Walker.
Oh, Thompson. Thompson makes it so hard on himself. So Tatum comes along the wing, dish to Kemba, going downhill. Thompson cuts. He's in position. He brings the ball down and then has to step outside the paint and then throws up a hook shot. End up making it, but so much harder than it needed to be as the Mavericks now are racing towards 60. The Celtics are going to need a ton of points to win this one. Offensive rebound, Grant Williams. Second chance shot for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's got a couple shots to go here in the second quarter. I love Luka Doncic. I did a podcast on YouTube last week, and the Celtics are playing the Hawks tomorrow. I was so surprised that this Hawks writer, Chris Kirschner, said the Hawks fans aren't all that concerned about missing out on Doncic. And I know he hasn't led the most prolific offense this year, but we're still talking about a shoo-in all-star starter in the West, an MVP candidate a year ago, versus a nice offensive player, a prolific offensive player. I'm not going to cut him short in Trae Young, but still a guy who's struggling to get the recognition to be in an all-star game at first glance. I don't know. There's still enough of a gap between those two where I say Hawks fans, even if they got the second best player in that draft, have to be going, oh, Oh, we traded that guy. Oh. I mean, I know I would. If the Celtics had any chance to get up to that position and take him that year. That was 3 years ago now? Yeah. Even that's a regret. This guy's the future of this game. Now, defense, you want to see him add that to his game. You want better teammates. They were banking so hard on Giannis. They left pretty much all their cards on the table the last 2 years in the offseason, and he's not coming. They don't have great assets either, even if he did eventually become available for a trade. So it's on to the next one for them. Do they look at Bradley Beal when that time comes? Or I don't know who's out there in terms of free agents this upcoming offseason, but he needs help. He needs help bad. Appreciate everybody tuning in here on Twitter. If you can join us on YouTube, that would be appreciated. Subscribe. I know quite a few of you subscribed after the last game we did. I appreciate that.
Right here, free money sales winners going on now. This week, put no money down, make no payments for 90 days, get 0% financing, or choose $5,500 cash back. Free money. Put no money down, make no payments for 90 days, get 0% financing.
I'm going to mute that. I was talking about the best commercials on TV about, how long ago? A couple days ago. And that one is the worst by far. Some stupid car commercial. I mean, there's a commercial like that in every market, right? That one's the worst I've ever heard. That stupid free money thing. Best, we're talking about Scoop, there it is. Scoop, there it is. Geico. And then, what was my number 2 that I've seen lately? Oh, Tom Brady with the bad phone connection. Gronk's calling him saying, retirement, come to Tampa Bay, soak your feet in the sand, and it gets all muffled into Tampa Bay championship. Maybe I'll join you. Oh, man, that was good. I love the tongue-in-cheek Brady these last couple of years. You never saw that years ago. The Slovenian step. Take it out. Off the rebound, and Payton Pritchard looks much better today. Get an extended run, chance to run the offense a little bit. He's always going to put it in a good spot. He's another guy who feasibly should be able to get to the rim. Did anyone see Grant get the alley-oop look from Jaylen Brown? That was just a weird decision by Jaylen.
Friday on ESPN, Pacers take on the Celtics, and the Blazers visit the Lakers. For more of these games, go to NBA.com or visit the NBA app.
2 of 5, 7 points for Pritchard. Hope he continues to get run here. Not enough for Rob Williams still. He wasn't his usual impactful self in that first run that he had off the bench, but I didn't think he was bad enough to get away from him as they have here for Tristan Thompson solo. Thompson's had a good game too here today. A couple balls they kept alive early. He's been so good the last month or so. Defense not there like I want it to be, as he stops Dwight Powell inside on a good stop. 54-53. Tatum rollout pass. They say Luka Doncic deflected it. Showing Marcus Smart in the stands.
Right here, Tatum just a ball fake. You have to honor that. Doncic closeouts. Look at Tristan Thompson boxing out foul inside, making life easier for Tatum at the rim. What happened on that last one? Tatum might have just lost control, falling down. They grabbed the official kid together. They got the call right. The ball was not tipped. Ellis takes over.
John Corrales, our good friend at Boston Sports Journal, putting up the shot chart, 5 of 8 for the Mavericks at the rim here. Celtics rim protection continuing to struggle. Boban, run for him here. 1:37 left in the second. We have a fast game going.
To enjoy that right there. Understand the importance of every possession. Good defense by Boston. Marjanovic. Both hands on the ball there.
Jump ball coming up here.
Williams got his hand on it at the end of the play, so he jumped.
Boban, no surprise, beats Grant Williams on it. Josh Richardson goes to the rim, and let's call it 6 and 9 at the rim for Dallas.
No one down there to protect the rim. Quick drive, decisive.
So many repeating trends here. Tristan keeping it a little long in the post. They go to Peyton Pritchard for a catch-and-shoot shot. No good. Tristan Thompson keeps it alive. Can he make it easy on himself? Left hand gets it to go on a putback. Good first half from Tristan Thompson. 4 points, 5 rebounds. Strong finish through Boban.
Handed Wade standing by with a tight one in Dallas. 56. Team lead changes in this first half. And we'll sit here with Brown. This is on a 3-ball.
All right, we're talking 56-55. Luka Doncic, 30 seconds left to go. Gets by Tatum. Brown with help. Tatum blocks him. We haven't seen many of those this year. As Grant Williams gets to the rim, they're going to call it a...
First of all, Burr, just tremendous defense. Doncic so patient there, using his size. Tatum just takes his time, gets the block on the weak side, from the behind. And then on the other end, Williams, 2-on-1 situation. I think he might have hyperextended his lead, trying to avoid Brunson on that charge. He was able to get up.
So that's a charge on Grant. Grant's going to stay in the game after his left knee came up a little lame. Still moving a little gingerly as Luka lines up Tatum. They switch to Pritchard and they give a foul with 5 seconds.
Just the second team foul on Boston in the second quarter, so Dallas will have it with 5.8. Here, checks in. And it replaces Pritchard.
All right, we're just about at halftime here. Richardson out to Doncic. Doncic blocked again by Tatum from behind this time. 2 plays in a row. Luka Doncic beat Tatum initially on the dribble, runs into some help. I believe that might have been Brown again or Semi Ojeleye. No, it's Semi Ojeleye coming through with the second level help, staying strong in front of him and allowing Tatum to get the block from behind. Strong defensive close to the second quarter. Sends the Celtics to halftime with a 56-55 lead. Halftime lead, though, not enough on Sunday. Inconsistent stretches from the Celtics team, but overall, a good first half. 10 of 20 shooting from Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum. Tristan Thompson was so strong with 4 and 6. C's kept the foul count low, too. How many free throws did Dallas shoot? 4.
What makes Popeye's chicken so crunchy and juicy?
It has to be balanced. The marination goes along with the frying and the battering. Sometimes you're like,
The perfect combo of crunchy and juicy. Try the sandwich for $3.99.
10 to 4 free throws. Brown, Tatum, 5 of 10 from the field. Can't complain about any of that. A little transition action. Didn't like how much they gave up at the rim. Overall, I think the final number on that was 2 of 4 in the second quarter. Let's call it 2 of 5. 5 of 7. So we're talking 7 of 13. Much better. Much better than it looked early. Appreciate anybody joining for Mavericks Celtics here on a Tuesday. Celtics got the Hawks on Wednesday. I believe the Pacers on Friday for an ESPN game. So quite a bit national TV showcase.
Let's just get out there and have fun. I have everything under control. You and the dragon are coming with me.
My soldier says we're not. Let's go.
Today we have the Microsoft Surface Pro 7 and the Surface Pen and the discussion. It's so hard. Why can't they just give me a whole touchdown? All your apps is a much better gaming device. I love my games. Then there's the pen.
Phone thing. Da-da-da-da-da. I think we're in a commercial. Jake from State Farm. I knew it.
Don't worry, Chris. Things are gonna go surprisingly great.
All right, let's chat here at halftime.
Surprisingly great rates.
I didn't record it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Oh, how about All-Star snubs? Fred VanVleet. Let me take a look here. Oh, thanks with the spelling. Fred VanVleet. Should he have been an All-Star? Raptors are better than the Celtics right now. It's true. I do want to check that score, though. What do we got for the Raptors tonight? It didn't look pretty when I checked it at first, and it's still not. Philly getting some revenge here on night 2 of that 2-game series. Shall we tune in on that? Why not? Let's switch over to that if I still have the capabilities here. We'll watch a little Raptors basketball at halftime. Fred VanVleet, let me know, guys. Was he a snub? I know the Raptors Twitter account wasn't happy. I haven't dove into his numbers too much. I know he's been so strong in their resurgence as they've gone from out of the playoff picture to, yes, as you mentioned, better than the Celtics at this point with a home court advantage seed in the East. This year, 20 points a game. All right, that's impressive. 6.6 assists to match last year. His steals staying strong at 2. 37% from 3, 40% from the field, so his efficiency's a little back. But the last few weeks, if we're using some recency bias here, and again, I don't think this is strong enough to pass Trae Young even, who was the real snub in the East. But his last few weeks here, he had a 54 against Orlando to start February. That's what really started this winning there for the Raptors this month. They are 4-6, 8-3 this month. And we're talking with VanVleet, 22.5 a game, almost 7 assists a game, 4 rebounds, 43% from 3. Or 42, rather. That's the low end of 42. League Pass. Lita, NBA League Pass.
Now it's time to show up and just understanding and knowing. Like I remember my first.
Let's see what I can get here.
I knew I was going and take the court the next game. I was in New York, and I.
I'm already running out of time here to stream this, but if you guys can get that Raptors game going, we're going to watch it.
Where he's comfortable and able to have and knock down that outside jump shot. And something Grant Hill said in the first half, he said he likes how Tatum is mixing it up. He's not taking threes. He's not going to the basket. He's not just shooting mid-range. He's mixing it up. And when you're able to do that as a player, it keeps the defense and you're that great. It keeps
Oh, yeah, shout out my man.
Can I talk during this? Like, is this...
He goes by the name of Arshveer in the comments. Boom. There he is. Shout out to Mus joining us here at halftime. Questions, guys. Conversations. What do you want to talk about? Nick Koseian or Koseian, if we're going to take that a Spanish route. Can we take a second to realize how great the NBA is? Oh, you don't even have to ask. I say this all the time, especially my old head Nick Joseph at CLNS. This is the best the league has ever been in terms of young talent. There's snubs. Jeremy Grant, Bam, Jimmy, Booker, CJ, Jamal, Trey. And some of these guys started slow in terms of their teams. Some of them have been injured, COVID in the case of Jimmy Butler. So I think it was easier than ever to parse stuff down and see who's an all-star, who's not. You're also missing Chris Middleton. No one's talking about him being a snub. I think he even has a better case than... And again, I don't care about these damn positions. I think he has a better case than Fred VanVleet for sure. And Trae Young, I guess I'll have to see quickly. 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, nearly 6 assists. Right in line with his production from last year. His efficiency better. 3-point percentage, 43. That's a real snub right there. I'm not sure to just hire, but Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum. Specifically, how did it end up for Jaylen Brown? 50, 43, 89. I do think Jaylen Brown was an all-star, but showed how close it was at the bottom of each spot. 49, 40, 76. More points, but higher usage. 4 assists, 5 rebounds for Brown. I don't know. If it wasn't Brown, maybe you put him in over Vucevic. Maybe you put him in over... Who else? I guess it would have to be Brown. I mean, it's not... Ben Simmons. Levine was a lock. Randall was a lock. Bless him. He's had a massive year. Harden lock. Tatum effectively a lock. You need to have Jayson Tatum on the team regardless of how much he's slept. We're talking Vucevic, Brown, or Simmons. Simmons was hard to snub for me. He just did everything besides shoot. I know it was popular to hate him for a few years, but I can't knock his game. Jeremy Grant, too. Let's take a look at Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy Grant went to Syracuse, so I'm always going to ride that wave. He started his career as number 39. That shows you how far Jeremy Grant has come. 23 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3, 37, 43. Jaylen Brown, Jeremy Grant beat, and so did Jayson Tatum. I would not call Jeremy Grant a snub, but worthy of a look. Worthy of a look for sure. We're about to get back to the second half. I haven't even gotten the Raptors game up here.
You should switch it to phone wireless to get more control over your wireless plan. They give you unlimited carryover data. You pick your data, you keep your data.
Let me tell you guys, it is tough to find games. You know what? Screw it. Celtics are almost back. If you guys are watching, give me a shout. Let me know how it's going. Good question here. What does another team give for Kemba in a trade today? Let's use for an example, because Al Horford was a disaster in Philadelphia last year. The fit, maybe they saw that there was still some game left there. It's sort of the other way around for Kemba Walker. You have an injury concern, which Horford did not, and you wonder if the game's still there. Long-term, specifically, less size, more of a dependency on the jump shot and that kind of stuff. He doesn't have defense to lean back on like Horford does in his case, rebounding, those kind of things. So even if Horford's offense had regressed, those aren't necessarily the things you're banking on for him. But to use that case as an example, what did the Oklahoma City Thunder require to take on Al Horford? We're talking a 2023 first-round pick. Oh, no. Never mind. We're already talking about hypothetical trades for Al Horford. 76ers Thunder. The final deal here was a 2025 protected first-round pick, draft rights to the 34th pick in last year's draft, and the 52nd. That's it, huh?
It wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage your plan.
It's going to be a nail biter.
No, the Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Yeah, so I think a future first, maybe a few second-round picks.
Too much?
And you realistically wouldn't get that much for him. Danny Green was involved in that trade as well. So that's an option potentially, like a mid-tier player from a team like the Pelicans or the Thunder. Those are realistically the teams that are stacking picks, not going all in on this year, already looking to sell or take on contracts per se. So Kemba Walker is not untradeable. I think there would be ways to get off him, but the Celtics have reportedly already tried. We saw Rick Bucher on Colin Cowherd's podcast talking about Ainge's efforts over the offseason to dump Walker. That was, of course, a report over the offseason from The Athletic in the thick of the offseason that Ainge was trying to give Walker up for anything. And it is a different case than Horford. I think the Thunder had some idea that they would be able to funnel Horford off again in the future, and they almost certainly will this year. Be able to move him. He only has 2 years left, and that last year is lightly guaranteed. It's a different situation with Kemba. It's all guaranteed. He's smaller. He's scoring reliant. Yeah, so you would either have to, as Moose31 says here, take on bad contracts. So let's think of those around the league. John Wall. I've had a Rockets fan pitch a John Wall for Kemba Walker trade to me. It's more expensive than Kemba. So that would be the incentive for Houston. And maybe the Celtics, it's not even much of a healthier guy. He's coming off an Achilles. He's had his shooting concerns. So maybe that's something you look at there. Russell Westbrook would be another one. Would you take Russell Westbrook back? I think the Wizards actually say no to that. Russell Westbrook still some nights can come out and give you a ton. He's bigger, more defense. But ultimately, could they move Kemba from there? That's something they'd have to consider. Do they get a compensation? Of course, they gave up a pick to acquire Westbrook. So could they get a pick back? No matter what, the Celtics would have to give up future picks for Kemba. So that makes me say Wait this out. We're 15 games in here. We're already talking about another decent performance here from him. Maybe not. Not on the bad end as Sunday, but still not great. But it's a worthy question. Thank you. I always like to get a good question at halftime. But that's my point. He's not impossible to move as Dwight Powell gets us started with the second half. With a missed layup, Luka Doncic on the putback. Brown, Thompson, Tatum.
Once again, another basket in the paint for the Mavericks.
I'm going to retweet this stream on Twitter. If you find us here through Twitter, please check us out on the YouTube page, Bobby Manning. We're second behind the pastor, the Reverend. But then you should see us. 6 of 11, 16 points, 3 assists. Hardaway drops a lob. Powell misses a layup with his left hand. Powell's had a rough game. It's been a rough season for him returning from Achilles surgery. Brown, pull up 3. No good. Doncic. It's like Richardson in the pick and roll with Powell. Luka. Another 3 off the catch. Celtics or Mavericks have a 2-point lead here. It feels like we're watching much of the same game every night for the last month or so. As Tatum turns it over on a loose ball rebound out to the sideline. This is an absolute disaster right now to start the third quarter. Fortunately, the Mavericks, watching some shots inside, haven't been much better. Tatum just walking the ball back to offense. Loses it on the sideline. James Johnson for 3 off the catch, no good. He plays sparingly for Dallas. Another addition that didn't move the needle too much for them. So tonight, guys like him, Boban, the depth guys, have sealed off the boards and hardened the interior for Dallas on both ends of this floor. Warriors up on the Knicks. Philly still maintaining that 13-point lead over Toronto into the second half. Toronto battered them a little bit in game 1 of that series. Milwaukee holding on against Minnesota. Not sure if Finch is taking over, but the Timberwolves were the first team to fire their coach. As the Mavericks miss, Kemba Walker takes it up. He'll set around the screen. Roll to Thompson. Thompson brings it back out, resets himself, goes underneath, nearly loses it. Hook shot is good. Sometimes Thompson takes a weird path to the basket. But tonight, again, efficient and effective in the low post. Another outlet for offense that the Celtics have badly needed in a race to what looks like it's going to be 110s, maybe 120s here.
Overtime loss to New Orleans on Sunday, and a big lead in the third quarter. And a foul. Marcus Smart approves from the sideline. Brown kind of drove their hesitation towards the defender at the free throw line, and they kept attacking. Able to initiate that contact, draw the foul. Over that old-fashioned three-point play. We knew about his slashing ability coming out of Cal in 2016. Leaping ability, explosive athlete. He's just added to his game each year. Now in his 5th season in the league.
Jayson Tatum, good defensively tonight. Richardson. Powell batted out a rebound. They're going to call a foul on Jaylen Brown on the board. But Powell, I get it. If he maybe could have grabbed if he wasn't fouled, but he batted that out to nobody. It would have gone out of bounds on the slap out. Nonetheless, calls the call. 63-60 Celtics. And Tim Hardaway has the ball. Now Luka does, lining up Tatum. Cauley-Stein rolls. Doncic doubled. And the Celtics get a turnover out of it. Steal Tristan Thompson. Brown into the lane. Tatum finishes at the rim. Great trap. Celtics haven't done that defensively often. Doncic tried to unleash a bold pass from the half-court line to Willie Cauley-Stein underneath, stationary, hits the rim. Thompson gets it out to Brown, who finds Tatum. As the Celtics find a little pace here in this third quarter. The 65-60 lead.
And as the COVID vaccine rolls out.
We were wrong in thinking that joy happens only at the end. Joy is the whole game. It's in the game.
There's a 7-0 Celtics run.
With Allstate, drivers who switched saved over $700. Saving is easy when you're in good hands. Allstate, click or call to switch today.
I'm Jayson Tatum. Check out my Subway sub with delicious turkey and crispy bacon.
I'm Draymond Green with my Subway sub with tender steak and melty cheese.
My sub will help you put points on the board, unlike some other subs.
Why would you say that, Jason?
Hey man, I'm just talking about subs here.
Do I want Brad to be fired? No, I think the team needs to be saved first. It'd be brutal to give up on a coach this good, who's been this involved in the rebuild, and is this sharp, you know? And might influence a little bit by how great he is with the media and how accommodating he is and just how approachable he is, maybe. I don't know, though. I just don't feel like this is his fault. We've seen he's going to everything. Maybe you want him to play Rob more. Are you going to fire a coach because he's not playing the backup center more? I don't know. It's not like Tyson Thompson are struggling. We'll get into that again on postgame, I'm sure. But Rob seems limited by this hip. It's not a new thing. He's been dealing with this for over a year. Missed 34 games last year with the hip condition. So it doesn't feel like a cover to me. I think he's been adaptable. His stance throughout this year is they're playing a style that gets the best out of them and allows their best players to play the most minutes possible. I'm not going to rule out anything through the start, but we're so early into the season. We're not even at the halfway point. The Celtics aren't out of the playoffs. They're below standard right now, but they're missing Marcus Smart. Rotations in flux. Kemba Walker's only 15 games back from his knee treatment plan. So, like, why is there a rush to fire Brad Stevens? And what's the replacement going to be? Jay Larinaga? It's great that the Timberwolves got Finch and they had that lined up. It's going to be hard to institute a new system, a new culture in a COVID year. And there are so many things. You can call them excuses, but there's so many factors around the Celtics this year. And all of basketball as a whole, when you take a look at the bigger picture, Celtics are still a top half team on both sides of the ball this year, albeit only slightly after the last week or so. So Stevens is someone I look at so far down the line. The roster they have in place here, the talent that they've lost over the last couple of years, the lack of moves, especially in season. You know, you're not going to kill Ainge for not doing anything yet. The market hasn't opened. But I don't know. This is more of a Danny Ainge issue to me than it is a Brad Stevens one. We look at this team. They're missing a fifth player every single night. There's Richardson with a pull-up three. Thompson holds on to the rebound. He's had a great game. Jayson Tatum lining up Richardson. Pull-up three. No good. So jump shot city continues. Pull-up after pull-up for this 46% shooting Celtics offense. You need more looks at the rim. So that's where I'll accommodate the people who say, play Brad or Rob. Brad, play Rob more. Looks like a foul as the Mavericks reset themselves. Doncic takes it out of bounds. And Hardaway fouled by Brown again. Brown picks up 2 quick fouls in the third quarter. There's 3 on Brown in the third quarter. Hardaway, Richardson crosses up Kemba. Kemba recovers and forces an air ball. They need the rebound, and it didn't hit the rim. So Richardson's offensive rebound will not stand on the shot clock violation. 65-60. Mavericks in a bit of a drought here. Celtics haven't taken much advantage of it. 7 points in 7 minutes, and it's a 5-minute drought almost for the Mavericks. Kemba Walker, pull-up three, no good. Thompson, offensive rebound. And they're going to go to a jump ball. Again, way too long to put it up, Thompson. Grab it, put it up, try to draw a foul or kick it out. That's the other thing. Never, ever kicks it out.
Takes his time, and Tristan Thompson has made a living, like we said, on the offensive glass, extending the play. Played by Finney Smith. Get your hands in there. The steal, force the jump ball. Both bring very similar attitude, relentless in their approach. Goal by Dallas.
Cedric Maxwell is saying on this broadcast, Celtics lost an opportunity right there as Thompson loses the jump ball, and the Mavericks take advantage with a Hardaway tip shot on his own miss. There's Tatum matches. Celtics stay ahead by 5. Tatum, trap with Tice on the pick and roll. Cauley Stein cleans it up. 3-point game, 4 minutes to go in the third. Thompson again, staring down Cauley Stein, gets started from 20 feet, goes inside, blocked by Cauley Stein. He's going back inside and fouled. Thompson's persistent, if nothing else.
Initially, Cauley Stein, exceptional defense on Tristan Thompson, but as you said, looks like he might have hurt himself. Doncic right here, double team, smart play, and another nutmeg. Doncic too. And then right here, Willie Cauley Stein played good defense. I thought he got away with a foul right there.
Eastern Conference standings, we'll look at them real quick. Celtics were a cut above early this year after that 8-3 start. They are now, when you Google it, off the page, down at 6, 15, and 15. Knicks struggling against the Warriors. Thompson looking for 8 at the line here.
We'll check in. FanDuel gives you more ways to win this NBA season with sports betting, daily fantasy, and free-to-play games. Sign up and play at FanDuel.com. Tristan Thompson used to be a lefty, now a righty. That's just hard to even imagine that someone could make that switch at this level, but he's done it, shooting it at 61% of the free throw line. With another jam. What a pet. To the third. Well, a factor.
Boban, up back, right over Tice's head. He's got some inches on Daniel Tice, about 8 of them. 6, rather. Yeah, no, 8. 12 inches in a foot, right? 8 inches. Used all of them on the putback attempt, and it's going to get us to a Brad Stevens timeout, and we'll talk here in our chat. Juwan Howard. All right, there we go. If you don't like Brad Stevens, if you feel like after 8 years with this team, he's lost his voice in the room, give me an answer. And here's one. Juwan Howard, who's done a brilliant job at Michigan, attracting players, using his pedigree. He has NBA experience on a championship team with the Miami Heat. I wouldn't be mad about Juwan Howard. Problem is, you're not getting him in the middle of the season, weeks before March Madness. So maybe we can talk again in April. But thank you for bringing an idea to the table, not just saying fire.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to switch and save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens.
Grant Williams defensively, not this year. Feet a little slow on the perimeter, and not enough size inside to match up. Boban minutes here, they've hurt the Celtics for sure. Mavericks have used it as a way to negate that Tristan Thompson rebounding advantage. Still no Robert Williams in this half. We'll see if that's where Brad goes out of the timeout.
You say goodbye, and I say
Lucky things can find a new life.
say goodbye, say hello.
Buy and sell us anything from home. Bacardi, your marketplace.
To defend against dark forces attacking your organization, you need to see in the dark. To have the wisdom to understand multiple cyber threats. The precision of
Undersized bigs. Yeah, I feel like that's not the biggest problem. And there's not many grueling, bruising 7-footers left. And I don't feel like size, physicality, and height are the biggest needs at the big man position in today's game. It's not like Miles Turner's 7'4". He was a popular choice over the offseason. But, he has length, mobility, and good hands on the defensive end of the floor, as we've seen as he's marched out to a Defensive Player of the Year caliber season. It's about 6'10", right? But they're cheaper, skinnier, or in Thompson's case, past their prime. So the Celtics have said we're not going to value that center position as much. For better or for worse, I think largely this year they've gotten good production there. The reason they lose this game will not be Boban Marjanovic.
Boston 69, Dallas 68 with
And everybody loves the impact Rob Williams has made here. So center is one of my least concerns here. If you want to round that up to a new Nikolai Vucevic, consolidate those minutes so you have one guy playing 30 minutes there with some rhythm. Only problem with Vucevic is he is a post-up guy, and this offense isn't post-up oriented. Although, with how jump shot oriented they've been this year, a few post-ups probably wouldn't be a bad adjustment. And Stevens has said he's willing to adjust to what the strengths of his team are. And that's one thing you can also say about this center. They don't bring much post-possession threat ability. In Thompson's case, he can score down low. He can post up. He can't pass out of the post, though, which is something you're looking for. And Rob is actually the opposite. A depth passer out of the post, he's not going to do anything if he possesses the ball down there, though. Luka, left elbow. Celtics up by 3 at this point. Hardaway to his right. Jalen Brunson not scared to shoot and able to score. 71-71 on a kick out to Jalen Brunson. Tice able to stop the entry pass in the Boban this time. Ball lands in Neesmith's hands. Tatum misses a layup. Struggles in the paint for the Celtics continue.
There was not a whole lot of defense early in this game. The defensive intensity has definitely ratcheted up. Both teams have stepped it up. Of course, here on the defensive end. Now Dallas is starting to find a rhythm again offensively. Hardaway shot well, limited action because of foul trouble, but he cracked several fingers.
There goes Neesmith on the dribble. Kicks it out to Tatum. Tatum leaning left corner. 3. No good. Bit of a collapsing stretch here for the Celtics at the end of the third quarter.
Talk about streaky. Hardaway, when he hits a shot, he gets instantly aggressive. Great ball fake and finish.
Tatum getting frustrated. Knocked off the ball a little bit. Catches in the lane. Kick out to Semi Ojeleye. Good for 3. Nice job by Tatum making himself an off-ball threat in the post. And that's a guy who can give a little bit of a post-possession threat within the flow of the offense. They rely on him so much at the top of the arc, pick and roll, ball handling, that kind of stuff. You forget that this was an incredible post player in college and a secondary outlet passer, even into his early years in the NBA. Big game-saving play from Tatum there. Neesmith fouls Tim Hardaway. Hardaway continues to streak out of the week off that the Dallas Mavericks had with that deep freeze, snow, awful week and a half or so that Texas had down there that postponed both Rockets and Mavericks games. 21 for Tatum, 10 for Thompson into this third quarter. Daniel Tice, a few bad games in a row right now. 1 of 4, 0 of 2 from 3, open looks, missing some free throws. 2 blocks, though. Nice defensive play on Boban in front of him. about to be a whole quarter without Robert Williams for everybody watching that. Last minute of the third. As Tatum tosses up an elbow jumper that falls. 77-76. So Tatum Mavericks miss at the buzzer, and it'll be 80-76, end of the fourth. Mavericks take the lead in that third quarter. A few lapses late in the final 5 minutes after they had scored 7 through 7 minutes. Allow them to not only stay in this game when the Celtics could have taken it to the next level, but take a lead after trailing at halftime. So concerning quarter for the Celtics.
It has encouraged other people.
No way around that.
Let's finish this. I know what you're thinking, but this story is different. My daughter's command. I won't be down. But Ryan and I are gonna fix the world. I want help.
This team's on a downward spiral. They lose again here. What are we talking about? $11 out of 17, then it was 18, 12 out of 19. Should be 13 losses in 20 games. They lose this one here. It's Atlanta tomorrow. There'll be no Kemba Walker. So a chance to have this awful month they've been on stretch a little bit worse.
Virtual Wallet was designed to change what people expect from their bank. Easily see what's free to spend and where you can save so you can budget even better. Virtual Wallet for digital banking. One way of helping to make it business at PNC Bank.
The 30 stands for the 30-day money-back guarantee you get with the CarMax Love Your Car guarantee. I didn't notice.
The way it should be. What difference could two just make? Think about the garage when you shop for a truck. CarMax. That's why we offer 24-hour test drives, so you can find the perfect fit where it should be. CarMax.
Take a look at the game summary presented by Geico as we start this fourth quarter.
I'm hearing that Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center, had fans for the first time all season tonight.
Dallas has got the advantage, and the Mavericks have the lead. Up by 4.
You're right, Chris. You're right.
Dallas head coach Rick Carlisle.
Zion, Tatum, or Luka. Give me Luka Doncic. He's going to be the best player in the NBA at some point. He was one of the best players in the world before 18. And in year 2, he was an MVP candidate. Which, you know, Tatum's been awesome, but he hasn't approached MVP candidate yet. Zion, let's see some defense. I mean, his defense has been bad. Luka's has been bad, but Zion's is at another level. He doesn't impact the floor at all on that end. At least Luka at this stage offensively can control the whole world on offense through his playmaking. He needs a three-point shot too. They're both kind of a wash from three-point land. Out of those three, Tatum has the most gravity outside. How are you going to impact an offense besides just pull-up after pull-up? So this is a crucial fourth quarter in this season, and Robert Williams is going to start it off.
Richardson circles off the hesitation to Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. Robert Williams with a block. So already impact 45 seconds into this fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown. Turnaround jumper. Good. Exactly what the Celtics needed to start this fourth quarter. An energy play from Robert Williams, who was so good in that loss on Sunday. Richardson keeps Mavs ahead by 4. Kemba Walker with a pull-up 2. We're back to 2 with 10:30 to go. Brunson crosses semi. Rob gets in front of him. Good help defense. Nesmith staying home on Johnson. And the Celtics get a miss. Good defense. Brown, Kemba, Rob, semi. And Nesmith is the combination to start the fourth. Kemba, 3. Good. The Celtics have a lead with behind 2 Kemba Walker buckets to start this fourth. 3 of 3 is the score. Is the shooting line for the Celtics to start this fourth.
The inconsistency of great defense there by Boston, forcing that difficult three-pointer.
So Rob Williams did not play in the third quarter. Maybe they were staggering him for crunch time. Kemba Walker misses a 3. And we'll see, is Rob able to go for most of this fourth quarter? Is that the idea here? Stagger his minutes, stagger Kemba's for late. They're getting a little run for Tatum right now. More creativity that Brad Stevens has had to assemble, both with roster, availability, skill.
Trying to stay loose. He said, yeah, we practice. And he's curious. The games that, unfortunately for the Mavericks, had to be postponed. How it will affect the second half of the season, the density of the schedule that we're still waiting on the NBA to release for the second half. He made a great point. Look, I mean, see what happens on a normal season. There's still execution on both of those floor. You need this year unable to do so. But this last week, Mavericks have actually paid off for them.
Brown around the Robert screen. Kemba back line to Rob, who is involved and active to start this fourth quarter. So Brad looks like he staggered some minutes for Rob to try to get him active and involved while he's limited with the hip. They don't want to push his minutes upwards of 30 right now. So he comes into this fourth quarter with only 11. He can push all the way to 20, it looks like. Came into this with 8. He misses both free throws here. Start the fourth quarter on his offensive debut. Defense has been great. That might just be what the Celtics need to grind out this victory. James Johnson beats him this time on the way to the rim. The Mavericks have the lead back. Kemba Walker going aggressively to the rim. Kicks it out to Rob. Rob goes to semi. Handoff to Brown. Going downhill. Makes it. Good movement on the offensive end of the floor. Even with limited spacing and Rob Williams out there at the three-point line, he keeps that ball moving. That can be just as useful. James Johnson lines up semi. They got a few guys out of position now. Hardaway gets an open look from three. Bounces out. Cauley Stein going to tip it out of bounds. Love the aggression by Kemba getting the ball into the offensive zone on that last possession. Neesmith now fouls Jalen Brunson hard in the transition take. And that's going to be a free point for Jalen Brunson.
Great concentration right there, absorbing the contact. Oh, Neesmith, yes, Neesmith from behind. Tag on another at the line when we come back. Fourth quarter action in Dallas.
Liking how Kemba looks, liking how Rob looks into this fourth quarter. A couple makes by Jaylen Brown to start this, and all while Tatum gets some rest. Aaron Neesmith, though, on a breakout by Jalen Brunson. Catches up to him from behind. Goaltends. Shot still goes in. Fouls. James Johnson with a nice outlet after a Jalen turnover that's going to end up being pretty costly here. Mavericks going ahead and building on it a little bit. This is such a critical quarter in the Celtics season right now. So it spirals further and further. They led at halftime. They lead early in this fourth quarter, albeit a close game. We've seen 21 lead changes here.
Good thing they clean the pines off. It's that kind of clean. We don't have live music. Everybody be lost.
If you want me to stay, I'll be around today. Be available for you to see.
So the trust in Aaron Neesmith and Rob. Already a costly mistake by Rob. Brad Stevens, stay confident in some of these young guys.
That's a 20% in your bill every month versus the other guys. Only at T-Mobile.
As they talking bucket at KFC, dinner time is my time to shine. Grab some piping hot chicken, young man. Much better than microwave.
Appreciate new subscribers tonight. Got quite a few after the last game. Handful of you join us here tonight. Thank you. Subscribe if you have already. Share this around. We're doing these almost every game night.
This helps. And this, it definitely helps. Make Takeout Tuesday your weekly tradition. Order in from local restaurants every Tuesday. Support the small businesses that make our neighborhoods.
We're seeing with this team.
Help out with American Express.
Keep moving it side to side, get great look. He said, keep the attacking mindset. Keep the two of the best coaches in the game. Assertive and great. They understand the importance of executing on both ends, particularly offensively.
All right, we're back. 7:40. Tatum back in the game. Neesmith. Pritchard now. In for Jaylen Brown, which is interesting. Tatum step back three. Bounces around and Rob! One-handed putback. More playmaking from Robert Williams. Johnson. Handoff to Cauley-Stein. Fouled by Rob. Not a terrible one. I don't know how good of a free throw shooter Willie Cauley-Stein is. Is that going to bring us closer to the bonus here?
He is somebody who, like a Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, a young player with a lot of runway.
Cauley-Stein hits the first, misses the second, but James Johnson, who's been another contributor deep off this Dallas bench, gets the offensive rebound. Brunson going to get into the lane. 3 Celtics standing middle. And the Mavericks get a 3 to go, looks like. Jalen Brunson. Oh, it was Rob on a putback that still has the Celtics in position here, even down by 4. For Jayson Tatum heave. So many pull-up jumpers. It was Jalen Brunson taking Rob Williams out to the perimeter as Luka Doncic hits a shot in the lane. 5-point game. Good stretch for the Celtics. Now heading to a timeout as they're going to need one large burst to close this. 6:31 to go. Mavericks by 5. Again, no Kemba Walker tomorrow in Atlanta. It's going to be a hard one to win against a team that's seen the Celtics now. It will be 3 times in a week.
All you have to do is a drink and your taste buds. Sounds like happiness. So many feels all of you.
Jalen Brunson, such a playmaker, such a commander out of Villanova. And we've seen Sadiq Bey, who we got a chance to talk about quite a bit a few weeks ago, and Mikal Bridges of the Phoenix Suns, who was one of my stars of the bubble, the way he played defensively. And we saw him do it against Jayson Tatum in that regular season game that those two teams met. And the Suns were able to take on their way to 8-0 in that bubble. So 3 great young players in this league. I might be missing some as well out of Villanova, Jay Wright, championship teams in recent years in college basketball. And they'll have a chance to do it again this year. They have another fantastic team there in Philadelphia. A couple great teams in Philadelphia between them and the 76ers.
Switch today and see all the ways you could save. We didn't just build another hybrid. We built a hard-charging 37-mile-per-gallon turbo hybrid. With the range and power to find your next story. Wherever it might be. The all-new Sorento Turbo Hybrid. The world's first storytelling machine. The PGA Tour swings into Florida for the WGC Wicked Championship session.
Car Shield. If your car is out of warranty or close to expiring, you could get stuck paying thousands for an engine, transmission, or computer system breakdown. But when you have Car Shield, you'll never pay for covered repairs again. Car Shield makes sure you don't have to pay for expensive car repairs, and that's why I'm a Car Shield customer. Call 800-987-3316.
And Luka the Don stepping up big, passing, offensive rebounding, leadership, shooting, doing it all, giving confidence, instilling faith in his team, getting to the rim. Doesn't have the gaudy numbers that we've seen from him. 24 points just thus
The
far.
Celtics down 6. It's now or never. Tatum, turn away, no good, falls short. Unsurprisingly, it's been a brutal game of spot-up shooting from him and the Celtics again. 0-2 into this fourth quarter after a short rest to start, and they're both jumpers.
Pan in the cookie jar. Takes his time, Doncic. Tatum reaches. Don't really want that, Brad Stevens. That far from the rim. Just slide your feet. Make Doncic have to earn his shots from the field, not from the free throw line.
Dallas in the bonus. Bleacher Report, in association with the NBA and NBPA, have turned your favorite players into Hollywood blockbusters. Introducing Check the Credits, Players Edition. A limited collection. Shop now at BleacherReportShop.com.
So Jayson Tatum, 2 jumpers, a foul, and 2 extra points for Luka Doncic. That's a 7-point lead. Tatum touch foul and 2 misses into this fourth quarter off the bench. Celtics go back to Tristan Thompson. That's going to get people going. Thompson, low post, right hook, falls short. And the Mavericks are a few shots away from securing victory here. Luka Doncic lines up the matchup he wants on Kemba. Gets Hardaway wide open on a high screen around Willie Cauley-Stein. Misses it. That would have made it 10. And Jaylen Brown gets a high right hook to go. So a huge swing there. Could have been a 10-point game. Now it's 5. They're going to call Tristan Thompson fighting around a screen for a foul now. So even more free throws for the Celtics. Fourth quarter struggles. Starts by sending a team into the bonus early. We saw that last Wednesday against the Hawks. Jaylen Brown lining up. James Johnson around the screen. Brown misses. Semi Ojeleye with an offensive rebound. Tatum to the rim. Offensive foul, Tristan Thompson. Now a short jump misser and fouls on both ends. Absolute fourth quarter collapse again for the Celtics with miscue after miscue.
Those fourth quarter struggles coming into play here Kemba Walker was there defensively, and that means more free throws for the Dallas Mavericks, who are 11-13 at the free throw line.
Smart right there, just attacking into the paint, being aggressive. That stretch. High percentage shots at the free throw line. Certainly good for the Mavericks here.
For Jaylen Brown, the Celtics coming up empty. And the Mavericks can bring this lead to double figures with 4 minutes to play. Jaylen Brunson, a deep shot.
14-2 Dallas run. Jaylen Brunson, free throws, and now a three. 101-89, and the Celtics here in February of 2021 have completely capsized. You make an aggressive trade. Do you fire the coach? How do you send a message to this team that is completely falling apart here in February? They're about to fall down into the play-in tournament with the New York Knicks in what's going to be their 13th loss in 20 games. We take a look back on this fourth quarter. 5 quick fouls in the first 5 minutes. Send Dallas into the bonus. Soft fouls, too. Kemba, Semi, and Brown seconds apart on the defensive end of the floor. Aaron Nesmith on that Brunson breakout. Robert Williams in the lane against Willie Cauley-Stein. That was the 5th at about that 7-minute mark. It was Nesmith, it was Ogilvy, Kemba, and Brown. Rob got a nice block to start this quarter, but then Nesmith fouled on that breakout, a bad turnover by Brown.
13 fourth quarter points, stepping up big time for his ball club.
Celtics now down 12 on a 14-2 run for the Dallas Mavericks. Just took about 3 minutes for this game to completely fall apart, and it was the Mavericks getting aggressive after those 5 fouls and getting to the line in the bonus. James Johnson. It was Cauley-Stein who got to the line against Rob. The Tatum touch foul on Doncic, Kemba Walker's touch foul on Brunson. As well as Tristan Thompson.
101-93. Dallas in front. Back-to-back plays for the Celtics to cut it to 8.
That got Jaylen Brunson going too. And isn't that Jaylen Brunson the exact kind of player the Celtics could use right now? A pacing level player, a guy to set up some of the other stars here. Brown and Tatum just look worn out on the ball. They have to do everything every single night. The offense stagnates. They get tired and start throwing up shots. Brown's a little better at putting his head down into the lane. But in a year with Tatum, has had COVID and taken that layoff and just stepped up on a much bigger level load-wise. they haven't helped them at all. And they're going to continue to press those guys into this All-Star break. And I think that's playing with fire here. They're going to have to get aggressive with a trade. They have to shake up the situation, but it's also on the top line guys. Tristan Thompson was awful in this fourth quarter. Tatum and Brown, I know there's some excuses there, but they are the leaders of this team, and they need to step up. Kemba Walker, hot to start this fourth quarter, but that touch foul on Brunson underneath. So ridiculous. Touch fouls across the board. Jayson Tatum, Kemba Walker, Tristan Thompson. Those are the guys touch fouling here in this fourth quarter. And they've tried everything here. James Johnson in the lane. Brunson, 3! That's the game. 104-93 with 3 minutes left. Unless the Celtics ramp this up, get the pace going, and knock down some shots. This is out of there. As Kemba tosses up a 3 off the glass and foul. That's the kind of play you need. Down 11. And there comes Kemba Walker to make up for it. Kemba handoff to Tatum, good. And look at that. 5 straight points for the Celtics in 30 seconds, and we have a game again. 104-100. Daniel Tice back in the game. Celtics hit a quick stop off the and-one. And the Celtics explode from down 11 to within 4. Actually, 7 with the and-one. 7-point turnaround there. 7-0 burst. And not even 30 seconds. 15 seconds right there. Jaylen Brunson with a costly foul. But his 3 on the other end is going to make this even harder to overcome. This would be a 1-point game, but Johnson got him that magnificent look above the arc. Brunson has, thanks to all these fouls,
along with Grant Hill, 1-1 in Dallas tonight. These two teams going at it, and Dallas lead has gone 11-3 run. They get back into it.
leaning shot by Doncic. That's no good for crunch time. 2 minutes left. Celtics have life. Neesmith into the game. Drive and dish to Tatum. Tatum second level pass. This is much better offense. And a 3! The Celtics are back down 1. 104-103. Marcus Smart's excited on the bench. Kemba Walker has 7 on this stretch in just 90 seconds. 3-pointer. Mavericks miss it bad. And they call it out on the Celtics.
Tatum driving there. Walker steps up, knocks down that 3-pointer, big time play.
to grab it. Away. What looked like he got a little piece of it.
Aaron Nesmith initiated.
This is the rim. But the question is whether or not it deflected off of Tatum.
Aaron Nesmith initiated that baseline drive. They got the ball to Tatum. Tatum smacks at this. Nesmith had gotten the stop on Hardaway. Would have been a prime chance for the Celtics to tie this game down 2 with about 90 seconds left. This is going to be a critical review here.
Tatum would have known if he touched it and probably would have lunged for it. So unless I agree in that moment, he thought to himself, hey, I'm just going to let it out. I agree. Off of Tatum as the ball just
2 key miscues by Jayson Tatum tonight. The touch foul, 2 leaning shots jumping into the game in the fourth quarter, and now possibly a drop ball that stalls some Celtics momentum here at the very least. Game stops. Everybody looking up at the replay board. It's 104 to 103, Mavericks. I don't know what it was. Tatum swung at it. That could cost him. Don't know if he touched it. Anybody get a good look in the comments? Who's on the post-game show? A couple guys named John, Bobby, Jimmy, and Josue.
see Tatum nodding. Yeah, it was the right hand, whether or not he got a piece. John Goble conferring with Sean White. So they've determined that, in their estimation, Jayson Tatum touched it.
And tough play right there for Boston. You know, great defense, forcing Tim Hardaway Jr. into a contested three. You think you secure the defense exchange, and now you're on offense. The defense again is before.
Grab the ball. Doncic.
So Mavericks get the ball back. That was the original call, so they just stuck with it. Tice, Kemba out aggressive, takes a charge, and the Celtics have the ball back anyway. They went out and got the stop.
It was a triple whammy. Great defense by Walker. He stunned it when Doncic had the ball. Made him release it, and he just balled up. Drawing the offensive foul. The all-star. The Walker. Good defense. Double team him and forcing Doncic.
Question of what the turnover is going to be. Will it be a foul on Brunson? Will it be a shot clock violation? They are looking to determine whether or not the foul occurred before the shot clock expired. Either way, Boston's going to have the basketball with a minute 23 to go.
So this all started with a Kemba Walker 4-point play on a heave through Jalen Brunson. Tatum got a 3 in rhythm in transition. And then Aaron Nesmith with a nice dribble drive baseline. Gets it out to Tatum, takes it for a second level attack, finds Kemba off the ball for 3 again. And that's how the Celtics picked up about 10 points in 90 seconds that get them within 1 point. The Mavericks are going to challenge the charge take by Kemba Walker on Jalen Brunson. They want to see if they can get 3 fouls out of this. Looked like Brunson initiated contact, but they're trying to steal back a little momentum here at the very least. This is Rick Carlisle with the challenge, a Oh, no challenge, just a review. The review is the shot clock saves a foul on Kemba, and it was a shot clock violation.
They were down by 12. Dallas looked to be in control. Then the Celtics started getting it done on offense. Walker, Jaylen Brown, and Jayson Tatum all contributing.
That's what you want your big three to step up when your team needs you most, and they've done it. Continue to do it here.
With 1:10 left in the fourth.
This is looking time right now, Bird.
103 Mavericks.
Tatum gets a steal. This could be it. Tatum turnover. Another bad miscue by Tatum. Doncic, Brunson wide open three, misses. The Celtics get a big bailout. 42 seconds to go. Brown in the lane. Pull up two. Elbow. Good. 11-point comeback. Complete. The Celtics need to hold on defense. 37 more seconds. Up by 1.
Gives his team the lead. Incredible comeback.
This looks different. It is. No cinema quality. This is different. All that. On a budget. Oh, you're with me with Burger King. And grilled bacon cheeseburger. Now you just get as much fun anywhere else. $1 your way. Your way, way better.
On March 7th, the NBA puts on all All-Star in one night of showmanship. They'll play it forward to support historically black colleges and universities. One night.
16-3 Celtics run. They dodged a few bullets with some key mistakes in this fourth quarter. This will be one worth rewatching because they were dead. 14-2 Dallas run. But thanks to some sparking shots by Kemba Walker, better rotations on the defensive end of the floor, and honestly, Mavericks looking dead on some shots on the back half of a back-to-back. Celtics essentially need 2 more stops here. Jayson Tatum guards Luka Doncic. Remember, Dallas is in the bonus. They could use that to their advantage. Doncic gonna power through Brown. Brown holds tight. Dish out to Brunson. Doncic now gets on the Tice. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Doncic. Good. Step back 3. That's Luka Doncic, the future MVP of this league. Was what could be the game winner. Step back 3 on Daniel Tice.
Probably doing what? Using my Old Spice moisturize with shea butter body wash?
All I wanted was to use your body wash.
And all I wanted was to have a body wash.
The connection you make today could be the first step toward the opportunity.
15 seconds here. Celtics vitally need this. This was almost their 13th loss in 20 games. It still would be. They can't convert this final possession. And lots riding on Brad Stevens in particular. but also Jayson Tatum, who has had more than a handful of miscues, whether it be touch fouls, turnovers, shot selection in this fourth. Was a big part of the burst and comeback, but derailed them a few times. The drop ball out of bounds as well. Jaylen Brown gets it. 13 seconds. Into the lane. Good. Jaylen Brown with back-to-back big shots in crunch time. 8 seconds. Dallas. No timeout. They're going to run right into it. Luka Doncic from the moon. Good! That's Luka Doncic. And that's the game. The Celtics are going to lose their 13th game in 20. And Luka Doncic with 6 points in the final minute on hard threes. This guy is a gamer. Luka Doncic just stole this game from the Celtics. Mavs have won 6 of 8. They're trying to get back into the playoff race in the West. Brad Stevens was on the court trying to funnel guys and dive on that shot. And he just had the biggest look of dismay on his face as his Celtics team continues to fall to pieces in this season, and they just got devastated in a way that they may not be able to come back from. Luka Doncic. There's 0.1 on the clock. That 0.1 is going to expire quickly, and this season has gone to a bad place quickly. The Celtics have not fallen under 500 yet in 0.1 seconds. They're going to be 15-16. Tatum tosses it in. Tatum practically took a shot from the sideline. And that's the game. 13 losses in 20. Mavericks collapsed. Celtics had taken a lead twice off Jaylen Brown jumpers. And that's the game. 110-107 is your final score. We're heading to Celtics postgame with another postmortem. They just find ways again and again to lose these games. So we'll talk about it. We'll react over there. Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you over on postgame. Subscribe, please, though, on our YouTube channel. We'll see you again on tomorrow.